Hi, everyone. Here we are. We're back again on MYChamberTV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is King Pithla.
Paul Friedlander, and I didn't mention it in the first section, but I will mention the fact that my nomination came from both the West Pasco Chamber Ambassador Club as well as Pasco Kids First.
I am so not surprised that when I saw that, now everybody can stop calling you Tina.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's a whole different story. You have to watch the last show from last month about that. But
we have us a lovely guest.
Yes, we do.
Big step up for my buddy Frankie. No shots, Frankie. Anyhow, but we have
Frankie was great.
We have Miss Rochelle Green on the show.
Hi, Michelle.
And Rochelle. And Rochelle's nickname is Rochelle. So as we just found out. So let's get right into it. You are an independent licensed advisor on the insurance side of things. So what is the difference between an advisor and an agent?
Correct. You know, the licensing is very much the same as far as I deal with health insurance under 65 market, but I am, as an advisor, I actually have the knowledge. I know everything that's out there. So, you know, it's a different standard when I'm educated on everything available on the private sector, also on the public sector, the state plans. Kind of held at a little higher standard. If I can't help someone, I certainly am going to assess their needs and make sure that they're in a good place and refer them to the right place, someone of trust and integrity.
That's good to know, because insurance, oh my goodness, it's like, which way do we go? Which way do we go, right?
It's very confusing.
Yes,
There's
very
lots
confusing.
of changes with this industry, and you've got to have somebody that keeps up with all those changes.
Right, and especially I'm assuming as well, not only getting into the older marketplace in terms of age, but also with small businesses where it can become so expensive, and yet you try to help your employees. And I think we haven't talked in detail, but I think you have some products that really do work and help small businesses also. But let me ask you a question. As it comes to the Affordable Care or the Obamacare, who qualifies for the free insurance subsidies?
You know, there are a lot of folks that are getting free insurance that are lower income.
Right.
You know, basically, if individuals' incomes anywhere from $12,000 to $48,000, they're going to qualify for some type of subsidy, some type of assistance. The lower at that range, they're probably getting free insurance on the marketplace. The higher that range, they may get, 100 or so off of their premium, just kind of simply stated.
And yet, if they're not in that income bracket, if they're in a higher income bracket, that insurance, that quote-unquote Affordable Care Act can be very expensive for them, can it not?
It can be very expensive, yeah. You know, for folks that are just making a decent living, families, individuals, it can be quite costly, and those deductibles are quite high on that option. There's some other things out there.
And if I had to take a wild guess, you probably have some advice for those people where they might be able to still get their health insurance and yet still save some money on it.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of things out there available, outside of the marketplace. You do have to be careful. There's a lot of limited indemnity plans that aren't really protecting families in a way that they might think. They seem less expensive, but I think it's important to really dig in and understand how all these plans work.
And that's probably about cutting corners. And when it comes to your health insurance, we cannot cut corners.
You're absolutely right, Barbara. A $300,000 on a limited indemnity plan, a $300,000 hospital stay can just happen in over a few days.
That's right.
Those plans might cap, at 40, 60, 70,000, and folks don't have those out-of-pocket protection limits. So that's definitely something to consider and know about. There's also some of the better plans that are on the private market are underwritten. So some people that are fairly healthy can get very good discounts for being healthy versus discounts on income. So that that's out there too. So
what do they look for that?
Mostly, I always assess everyone individually. So someone that's in remission from cancer has very different needs for insurance than someone that's very healthy, active, goes to the doctor a couple times a year.
Gotcha.
So there are plans out there, that I'm going to make sure everyone's pre-existing stuff is covered, that, they have networks, that they have access to care. That's also very important.
Yes.
There's several things really to consider individually.
That's good. I love having pros like this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes this show so much fun and hopefully helps the community, the people that are listening to this. Private pay versus the Affordable Care Act. What's the differences there?
The main difference, there's actually quite a few. The main difference is they're sold year-round private plans, so no one's ever actually married to their insurance plan. A lot of people got stuck with some real expensive Obamacare plans just during open enrollment. They're never married to that. If you can get into a better place, you know, you want to know what else is out there, right? Also, these plans are really designed for people a lot of times that are self-employed, like myself, that don't have, you know, the coverage through the employer, and that are going to cover them on and off the job. And then there are PPOs. So most of us kind of know from, if you've ever been on a group plan or back in the day before Obamacare, a PPO is really very desirable. You want to be able to go in and out of network. You want to cross state lines. A lot of folks don't realize their Obamacare plans are not covering them outside of the state.
Gotcha.
So, you know, we consider that, especially if, you know, if you're working on and off the job,
And
that's a big deal.
Absolutely, you travel.
Big deal.
Now, in advising and things like that, do you have ways that you can actually help families that are already on their employer's plan?
Yeah, you know, in fact, the way it used to be, if you were on a group employer plan, you were in a good place.
Right.
But it's kind of gotten, just like every other aspect of insurance, it's gotten very expensive. Boss man usually pays, so that's always a good thing for the employee or a portion of the employee. But I have a family I helped just, you know, right down the street recently, a couple weeks ago, and they were paying over $1,600 a month for the couple and their 16-year-old daughter to be covered on their group health plan. So in my opinion, that is not a good place to be. I mean, that's, you know, that's crazy. So I was able to put them really in a very good place and save them an awful lot of money, you know. They can plan their family vacation now.
I hear that time and time again about insurance. I mean, it's crazy. So,
Rochelle, when we get back to it, do you have, are there plans, if we have somebody out there that's a small business owner that maybe has 2, 3, 4, 5 employees but would like to help cover them but really can't afford to do full product? Do you have products that you can help them with?
We actually do. We do have products, and I also, you know, have some advice. You know, I know that a lot of small business owners, to bring on a group plan can be very, you know, a lot of work. I know businesses that have actually had to hire an HR just because they wanted to bring on a group plan.
Sure.
And there are different ways you can approach that. Some employers, a big trend that's happening, especially with smaller businesses, they're offering a healthcare allowance. They're just writing a check once a month. They still get that write-off, and then that person has, you know, can go out and find their own insurance, and they own their policy. A lot of 1099 employees, you know, like to, you know, portable. We're, you know, we're on the go. We're here, we're there, and we're not, you know, stuck with someone.
And of course, being in the real estate industry on the title side, obviously most real estate agents are self-employed.
Absolutely. You know, for example, you know, I have a lot of real estate clients that are just independent, and that's a special needs too, because God forbid they're showing that house and they have a fall, break their leg. You know, that their spouse's group plan just probably will not cover that. You know, I ran medical offices for over 20 years. The first thing they ask on any medical claim is, was this accident related? What happened? What, when, where, and who is liable?
Absolutely.
So, you know, those things have to be considered. With private plans, they're actually built for these type of situations. They cover these individuals on and off the job in 50 states.
That's good.
You know,
so some of those are the things that are considered when you're building a plan for them.
Absolutely.
So when you say advise, I'll just backtrack for a second, and it's an interesting point. So you'll actually can go in to a small business, to that owner, and act as that quote unquote on this side of the business, that HR type of a person to help them with their insurance. Is that correct?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do have access to those type of plans, and I do have partners in my network, also in our chamber, that help save businesses thousands and thousands of dollars with those administrative costs as third parties to help administer those things. Yeah, I do have those type of partners that I work with as well.
And you hear about the stories, and I know when you're talking about people that might be, you know, underemployed or low income and things like that. Is there anything out there, and I can tell you a story from way back when, but I won't bore you with that. Is there anything out there that can help with catastrophic?
There is. As a matter of fact, there is. You know, a lot of times even the lower income people that do have that free insurance are still looking at between an $8,000 and $12,000 deductible. So there are some products out there that can help offset that. There are some products out there, you know, God forbid you're diagnosed with something that will give them, you know, lump sum check to help offset that and help, you know, keep the bills paid while they're getting better. You know, that's something I also consider when I'm talking to business owners. You know, what's going to happen if, you know, God forbid, you know, suffer that, you know, that heart attack or that stroke or that cancer diagnosis. You know, what is going to happen?
And it's not so much living in what if land; it's just being prepared. You know, arming yourself with the knowledge to make the right decisions on, suppose that something did happen. You know,
correct. You know, even our business owners. You know, the average American has about 2 weeks pay in their bank account. You know, what happens if you're you're sick and you know, like I said, God forbid something happens. Medicine has come to a place where we're very fortunate. You're
Yes.
likely to survive that.
Yes.
Right.
But if you're not working for 3 or 6 months,
Yes.
you know, who's going to pay the mortgage? You know, the number one cause of bankruptcies is medical expenses.
I believe that.
Not so much. I know the doctors are they're doing okay. The hospitals are okay. My concern is that client. What's
Right.
going to happen? Who's going to pay your bills? Who's going to keep the mortgage paid? Who's going to keep the kids in college and keep that business running while you're getting better?
It makes sense. It really makes sense.
In fact, I could tell you a story about a client of ours in Tennessee. We're licensed in many states. We're actually licensed in 29 states.
Oh, awesome.
So I have a huge clientele here, but I also have clients all over the United States. But very healthy when she got on this plan. She was brought onto an underwritten plan, was in a very good place, and unfortunately, she was diagnosed with brain cancer, a very rare brain cancer, and they had discovered 3 lesions on her brain. And lots of uncertainty when she called to check in with her agents to make sure she was in a good place, because they said, the best surgeon for this is at Duke University. And, we'd like you to travel from Tennessee to Duke University. So I was able to at least,
that's huge.
lots of
That's
uncertainty
huge.
where the top surgeon for this rare cancer is.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Barb, that this young lady, if you're out there and you're struggling with all the things that are going on today, I don't think there's any question that this young lady right here can't help you and if more importantly, give you advice.
Absolutely. And just really arm yourself with the knowledge because, as they say, knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Yep,
great.
Absolutely.
And the key is advisor, not a salesman, but an advisor. And we appreciate
That's right.
that.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
We appreciate that.
That's wonderful.
important to do the right
do we?
thing.
I'm guessing that it might not be that easy, or is it easy to get a hold of you?
Actually, no. I'm available to my clients,
Okay.
and that's what they actually love about me. If they're traveling out of state, they're looking for a specialist, they have a situation, they want to know that they're in a good place,
Awesome.
they want to know that they can go see that surgeon, in the other state, and they're still going to have their bills paid and everything's,
Good. Peace
covered.
of mind. Peace
Yeah.
of mind.
My
Well, thank you,
clients love
Michelle.
that.
We
It's
appreciate
great
it.
to have you
Pleasure.
with
So
us.
much
Been a
for coming on
pleasure.
today.
Hope to see you again soon. We'll be right back after this.